All right, strap in everybody because today we're diving headfirst into the crazy world of baseball bat tracking data.
Oh, yeah.
And to guide us through all the numbers, we got the one and only, the Sultan of Stats, Mr. Tango Tiger.
Yeah, the legend himself.
Yeah,
The guy who makes sabermetrics makes sense. I
exactly.
mean, even I get it when he explains it.
I know, right?
So, what kind of tango goodness did you dig up for us to deep dive on?
Well, I thought we'd take a swing at some of his posts on the science of hitting.
Oh, nice.
You know, like the timing and physics behind making
Really?
contact.
Just about launch angle and exit velo?
No, no, this is like the nitty-gritty.
The stuff that separates those bloop singles from the no-doubt dingers?
Okay, so where does Tango kick things off?
Right into the heart of it, the sweet spot.
Okay, yeah.
Seems obvious, right? But the way he breaks it down, man, it's eye-opening.
Well, I'm intrigued.
So he starts with the physics.
Okay.
The bat at its sweet spot is about 2.36 inches thick.
Okay.
Baseball, roughly 2.91 inches in diameter.
So, wait, you're telling me there's like, what, a 2-inch window where those two have to meet perfectly?
Yeah, for that, like, perfect impact.
That's insane.
It is, right? And he brings in this stat, EV50.
EV50, remind me, what's that again?
Average exit velocity of a batter's 50% hardest hit balls.
Okay, right. So it measures like consistent power, yeah.
Exactly. Like, are you just getting lucky sometimes, or are you a beast at the plate?
So how does EV50 connect back to this whole tiny sweet spot thing?
So Tango found that when a batter hits the ball within half an inch of the bat center line,
Mm,
near that sweet spot,
yeah,
95% of those swings, boom, EV50 contact.
95%.
hmm
So basically, hit the sweet spot, you crush the ball.
Well, it's not guaranteed, but it's like way, way more likely.
Okay.
And to drive this point home even further, he found that the effective hitting zone, where you can still make decent contact,
Okay.
extends only about 6 inches from the sweet spot.
6 inches. That's like, what, the width of a paperback book?
Less, probably. It's tiny.
Man, and these guys are hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming in from who knows what angle.
I know, right?
Makes you appreciate those .300-ers even more.
It's all about precision. Those tiny adjustments, milliseconds, millimeters, everything matters.
Okay, so we got this tiny sweet spot we got to hit.
Yeah.
But does it matter where within the sweet spot?
Oh, absolutely. That's the next layer Tango digs into.
Okay, good.
He found that, hitters, they tend to have a preferred contact point on the bat,
Yeah.
usually around 30 inches in front of them.
So not the very end, but a bit further back.
Right, exactly. And even within that little zone, there's room for style,
Oh, interesting.
Like Paul Goldschmidt, he likes to make contact about 20 inches in front.
Okay.
But Justin Turner, more like 40.
So even with all the data, there's still room for personal preference.
Definitely, you can't take the human element out of it completely. But here's where it gets juicy.
Mm.
Tango looked at mishits too. The times you don't quite square it up perfectly.
So is he saying there's a right way to miss hit?
Well, he found that hitting the ball closer to the handle
Yeah.
rather than the end of the bat can
Right.
actually lead to some, well, not terrible results.
Seriously, mishitting toward the handle is good.
Think about it.
Oh.
Those mishits, they often end up as like weak grounders, bloopers, those lucky seeing eye singles.
Those ones that just find a hole.
Exactly. Might not be pretty,
No.
but hey, you're on base.
So even when you don't hit it perfect, there's a strategy to not screwing up completely.
It's like having a backup plan, just in case.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got where on the bat you make contact.
Yep.
But what about how the bat hits the ball? Over, under, through the center.
Ah, the swing path.
The swing path, yeah. I feel like every coach has a different theory on the perfect swing.
Right. And Tango actually argues that it's not just a flat plane, but more like a three-dimensional slab.
A slab.
Yeah, imagine a 2x4 piece of lumber moving through space.
Okay, I see it.
Not a flat piece of paper.
So thicker.
Way thicker. And the ball has to pass through that specific zone.
Gotcha.
And get this slab, it's about 4 inches thick.
4 inches.
Anything outside of that, you're swinging at air.
And this is happening, what, in a fraction of a second?
Milliseconds, man.
No wonder I spend most of my time at the batting cages just trying to make contact.
I feel yeah. It really highlights the skill of these players. Now, what Tango found is about 12% of swings go over the ball.
Okay.
24% go under, and then the remaining 64% are within that ideal InSlab zone.
So most of the time, they're getting the bat in the right area.
Generally, yeah.
But what about when they're slightly off?
Yeah.
Is it better to be a little high or a little low?
That's the question, right? In Tango's analysis, it shows something kind of surprising.
Oh.
He found that hitting slightly under the ball is generally better than hitting over it.
Really? I always thought over the ball gives you more of a chance for a homer.
It seems counterintuitive, but think about it. Hitting under the ball leads to more fly balls and line drives.
Which are more likely to get hits.
Exactly. Ground balls got to get past those infielders, man.
Sophie gloves down there.
Way too many. Fly balls, they just got to clear the outfield.
Or find some space.
Exactly. So the optimal spot isn't right in the center, but slightly below the center line of that swing path slab.
So we've got the sweet spot, the contact point on the bat, and now this whole swing path slab.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
It's like a multi-layered puzzle, and you have like a split second to solve it.
And we're not even done. We still got to unpack those early versus late swings.
Oh man, there's even more.
Ah.
Okay, well, let's take a moment, gather our thoughts, and then we'll come back to tackle that last piece of the puzzle. All right, I'm back, and my brain is still buzzing a bit.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
From sweet spots to swing paths.
It's all connecting.
Those tiny timing differences that can turn a routine grounder into a game-winning double.
And we left off on a cliffhanger.
We did.
Ready to dive into the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, those early and late swings.
Right, and that's where it gets tricky.
How so?
Well, how do you even define an early swing or a late one? It's not like there's a universal clock for every hitter.
That's true.
What's late for one guy could be right on time for another.
So how does Tango Tiger even approach this?
Well, he's a clever dude.
Oh, I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve.
He takes a batter-specific approach.
Okay, so personalized data.
Yeah, based on their ideal timing point.
And how does he determine that?
By analyzing those EV50 hits.
Right, those are the ones where the batter is really crushing the ball.
Exactly, showcasing their true power potential.
So Tango Tiger is figuring out when each hitter makes the best contact.
Yeah.
And using that as a baseline.
Exactly. He's like a hitting detective.
I like it. So then what?
Well, he considers swings that happen within 7 milliseconds.
7 milliseconds.
Or roughly 10 inches of that ideal timing point.
Right.
To be on time.
Okay.
Anything outside of that window is either early or late.
Man, 7 milliseconds, that's such a tiny window.
I know, right? It's crazy.
The game really does come down to those split-second decisions.
It does. And you know what's really interesting?
What's
Tango Tiger found that early swings,
early swing,
even though they're less common,
okay,
tend to have the highest run value.
Hold on, wait. Early swings are more valuable.
That's what the data suggests.
But wouldn't being a little late give you more time to react to the pitch and generate power?
It's a common thought.
It makes sense, right?
But it might have to do with the mechanics of pulling the ball.
Okay, how so?
When a hitter swings early,
Yeah.
they can really get their hands through the zone and drive the ball with more force towards the pull side.
Interesting. So even though hitting slightly late might feel more natural,
yeah,
getting ahead of the pitch could be the key to generating more power.
That's what Tango Tiger seems to think.
Fascinating stuff.
But it's worth noting
Yeah.
that the most common type of swing is actually slightly late, even though the average swing across all hitters is right on time.
So on average, hitters are timing it perfectly.
Yep.
But more often than not,
They're a hair late.
man, this game is hard.
It is. It's a constant battle between reacting to the pitch and trusting your instincts.
All right, well, let's recap everything because my head is spinning.
Okay.
You got that tiny sweet spot, and sometimes hitting it closer to the handle can be good.
Right.
We learned about the swing path slab. Hitting slightly under the ball is usually better.
Exactly.
And now we've got early swings actually being better for run value.
It's a lot. I know.
But it's all happening in the blink of an eye.
It is.
Hitters have to process so much information about the pitch while coordinating their body to make contact in those tiny windows.
You said it. It's amazing they can even hit the ball at all.
It really is. I'm starting to think hitting a baseball might be the hardest thing to do in all of sports.
It's up there for sure.
But it's also incredibly beautiful when you see it done well.
It's like poetry in motion.
Okay, well, we've covered a ton of ground here.
We have.
Explored the art and science of hitting from every angle.
Yeah, inside and out.
But before we wrap things up, I want to bring it back to the listener.
Okay, how so?
What does all this mean for those of us who aren't professional baseball players?
That's a great question.
How can we use these insights to better understand and appreciate the game?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that hitting a baseball is hard.
Really, really hard.
Like really, really hard.
Okay, we get it. It's hard.
But the next time you're watching a game,
Okay.
pay attention to those details we've talked about.
Like what?
Where on the bat they make contact.
Okay.
Did they swing early, late, or right on time? Was their swing path a little over or under the ball?
I like that it's like becoming a hitting detective.
Exactly. You'll start to notice those things that separate the good hitters from the great ones.
It's like having X-ray vision into the mechanics of hitting.
And it gives you something to talk about with your friends at the game.
Did you see how he just flicked his wrists and sent that 1 yard? Textbook early swing.
Exactly. But even if you're not a diehard fan, this should give you a greater appreciation for the skill of these players.
It really does. Instead of just seeing a hit or a miss, we can start to understand the factors that contribute to those outcomes.
It's like unlocking a secret code to the game.
I like that. And this knowledge isn't just for spectators.
No way.
Coaches can use it to improve training methods.
Scouts can use it to evaluate prospects.
And players can use it to understand their own strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. It's all about using data to improve the game at every level.
So Tango Tiger's work isn't just about crunching numbers.
Nope.
It's about revealing the hidden complexities of a sport we thought we knew.
And as bat tracking technology gets better,
Yeah.
we're going to get even more insights in the future.
It's exciting to think about how this could shape the future of baseball.
It all comes back to the power of data.
To unlock hidden patterns.
And deepen our understanding of things we thought we knew.
And Tango Tiger is a master when it comes to telling stories with baseball data.
He really is a wizard.
So for everyone listening who wants to learn more,
Yeah.
check out his blog, dive into his work.
It's a goldmine.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive
It's been a long one, but a good one.
into this crazy world of baseball bat tracking data.
All thanks to Tango Tiger.
Now, let's take a quick break to gather our final thoughts before we swing for the fences one last time. All right, we're back for one last trip around the bases.
One last swing.
We've gone deep on sweep spots.
Swing pads.
All those tiny little timing details that can make the difference between a weak grounder.
And a screaming line drive.
But before we call it a game,
Yeah.
I want to make sure we connect all this amazing data
Back to the listener.
back to you. Yeah.
So you might be thinking, this is all cool, but I'm no pro hitter.
Right. What's in it for me?
Well, first off, it can change the way you watch baseball.
Okay. How so?
Next time you're at a game or watching on TV, don't just watch the outcome of the at-bat.
Okay.
Pay attention to those little things we've talked about.
Yeah, details, yeah.
Where on the bat did they make contact? Swing early, late, right on time.
I love that.
Was the swing path a little over, a little under?
You start to see those things that separate the good hitters from the great ones.
Exactly.
It's like they say, the devil's in the details.
And you can impress your friends with your newfound knowledge.
Yeah. Did you see how he golfed that one out? Classic under-the-ball swing path.
Haha, exactly.
But seriously, even if you're not a diehard baseball fan,
Yeah.
this should give you a better appreciation for how ridiculously talented these players are
Oh, absolutely.
to make contact with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball
Moving every which way.
in a tiny fraction of a second.
It's mind-blowing.
It is. And who knows, maybe some of these insights could help with your own swing.
If you ever find yourself at the plate,
Hey, even if it helps me coach my kids' Little League team,
right?
I'll take it.
Any little bit helps.
Now, Tango Tiger himself even suggests that this kind of data
Yeah,
could revolutionize player training, scouting, even bat design.
absolutely.
Imagine coaches building programs based on a hitter's unique swing path.
Or scouts identifying young players who have that perfect combination of bat speed and long shangle.
It's crazy to think about.
The future of the game is right there in the data.
It really is. It's not just about crunching numbers.
It's about telling stories with those numbers.
And Tango Tiger, he's a master storyteller.
He is.
So, if you want to learn more,
Dive into his work.
his blog is an absolute goldmine.
Definitely worth checking out.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the amazing world of baseball bat tracking data.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you about it.
Likewise. Until next time, keep those bats swinging.
And those minds curious.
And remember, even a mishit can be a thing of beauty if you know what to look for.